I'm not gonna lie, this is harder than I expected. I'm in actually a lot of pain right now. There we are again when nobody had to know. That's a wrap on this run.
The story starts with this kid. He hates running. How do I know? Well, that's the me of 2001, and I distinctly remember hating running. That's how it was throughout my childhood and even into the first few years of adulthood. Whether in my gym class or sports, I did what I could to avoid running. Fast forward to 2021, and that loathing was still there. I would lift weights regularly, but always found a reason to skip out on cardio. Running even a single mile wasn't something that I wanted to do, so the idea of running over 26 was absolutely nuts to me. The people who did that willingly were crazy people. But then I got into jump rope and started skipping every day. At first, it was tough to go continuously for even a minute, but over the weeks, I found myself able to go for longer and longer periods of time. A couple months into this routine, and I started implementing sprints into my weekly workout schedule, and I found that I hated running less and less with each session. Eventually, this question popped into my head. What if I ran a marathon? Partly because of impatience and partly because of the insane amounts of confidence that come from being naive. On a random Wednesday, I decided that I would try running my first marathon the following Saturday. No training, no official race, simply going out to a local track and running around 105 times. This is that story. When I said that I didn't prep, that isn't 100% true. There were a few things that I did. Since I'd heard runners talk about carb loading, I ate a bunch of pasta, toaster waffles, and donuts the evening before the run. I bought some gels from my local bike shop because those are supposed to be helpful after a few hours of running. After that, I elevated my legs a little bit because I figured it wouldn't hurt and I went off to sleep. As you can tell, I had no idea what I was doing. The next morning, I drank some water, ate cereal, and headed out to the track. This is where the fun begins.
All right, I'm out here on the track. There's literally no one else there because it is 22 degrees. I don't know if you can actually see that. It's pretty bright out here. And I forgot an ND filter. So here we are about to run what I hope will be a marathon. Let's just see how this goes. I haven't trained. I don't know if I've ever run more than like 6 or 7 miles, but I want to push myself and see what this is all about. Onwards. All right, I'm 8 miles in. I'm not gonna lie, this is harder than I expected, but that's okay. Hips are tightening up just a little bit. I will be able to make it at least to half of this. I will say, I've never been injured in my knees or my hips before, and honestly, I don't really aim to, not for my ego, on something like this. So we'll see what happens. I'll reassess after 13 miles, and we'll go from there. But thus far, pretty fun journey. Let's get it. Woo! Finished with 9:33. Let's go. Almost 9.5 miles in. Still cruising. I wouldn't say going strong, but I'm going. The cameras are all set up. This is something that I have a great appreciation for the people who do these challenge videos, and then they're able to get it recorded in such a great way. Because not only are you thinking about the challenge, but you're also thinking about how you're going to tell the story. It's one of those examples again. So the reason I'm doing this is to be able to see how difficult this really is, to be able to try it out myself. Because yes, you can read articles, you can talk to other people, you can hear about their experiences, but you don't really know until you try something like this yourself. It's honestly the same thing with even something like YouTube. You don't really realize how difficult any sort of creative venture or something like that is until you try it. You put in the reps, you see what the difficulties are, because it's easy to criticize. It's easy to say, yeah, this is bad, this isn't entertaining. But whenever you're going through it, you have an understanding of going through the process. You're much less likely to be critical, at least in a malicious way. Because you know that people are just in different parts of the journey. you know something like what they've gone through before. And so there's that camaraderie, there's that support. So props to all the people who have done a marathon, who have done a half marathon. No matter what speed you did it, you did the freaking thing. And you know what? I'm super proud of you. Let's get it, folks. Let's get it. So it's about 11.3 miles in. I did take it easy on this lap, allowed myself to get a little bit of a hydration, and I walked it off. But these next 8 laps, this next 2 miles, I'm committing to keeping it at a jog. Yes, there is pain, more pain than I definitely thought I'd feel at this point, but it's about pushing through that. So, I don't know. This thing's pretty fun, friends. Try it out for yourself. All right, I'll see you at the end of it. I don't know if you can hear that, but the wind, it's getting more and more intense as we go. Lesson from this, I am in actually a lot of pain right now. But what I've always found in workouts, and also in other parts of life that I've started to apply this to, is even whenever there's pain, we can still smile through it. And I mean literally smile through it. Because yes, it's there, but it makes it a little lighter, makes it a little easier, and it reminds us to just keep going, step by step by step. So less than a mile left. We'll see what happens. This wind is here to challenge me at the very end, but let's get it. Whew. That's a wrap on this run. What a time that was. All right, so I didn't get through the full 26. It was harder than I thought. Could I have gotten there? I want to say yes, but I think the honest answer is no, not today, not without the training. So I finished about 13.2. Gonna go get an ice bath now. Then in that ice bath, we'll have some final reflections on this. See you in a bit. Hello. What? Woo-hoo. Nice. Okay. So as I am sitting in this ice bath, some final reflections for this race. I ran by myself. The race of one. I didn't get to the 26.2 miles. I definitely did not think that it was going to be as difficult as it was for whatever reason. Maybe it's arrogance, maybe it's something like that. But I'm so happy that I tried to do it anyway, because it gave me this push. That was the furthest I'd ever run in my life. We're capable of so much more than maybe we anticipate or that we expect of ourselves so often. This is something where I had never even tried something like this. I used to tell myself I hated running. And look, I just went out on a random Saturday and I just ran that distance. So in that, it makes me question, what else am I capable of that I tell myself I'm not good at, I tell myself that I don't like? There's so many things out there to try, and why not try more of those instead of staying in the same comfortable routines that I'm so often in? And I think another point with this one is that we're all running our own races. And I know that sounds super cliche, but for somebody else, going out there and running 13 miles on a random day, that's nothing. But I'm not comparing myself to those people. At the same time, I'm also not comparing myself to people who cannot even imagine going out and being able to run even 1 mile, because we're all on our own journeys. It's something where I would encourage people to just try it, to try going, pushing your limits just a little bit. Don't be discouraged because other people can do more, because the reality is so often we don't know what other people have been doing. We don't know the hours that they put in over years. All we can do is just compete with our former selves. And that is something that I'm proud to say I was able to do today. And I think the last thing that I'll say on this, which is one of the reasons I'm so happy that I went out and did it, is because now I have at least one way to be able to relate with other people who have gone out and run, whether it's 1, whether it's 100, half marathons, marathons, whatever those are. I have at least a little bit of an understanding there.
because I never would be able to get what exactly were they going after? What exactly was that feeling of being out on the race? And so now I'm able to relate, and now I want to be able to actually train to do it properly. But super blessed that I have the ability to be able to go out and do that. So blessed that, you know, my body was able to take on that race. And yeah, what a day. What a freaking day. So friends, get out there, push your limits at least a little bit more, whether it's physically, it's mentally, all of this stuff is connected, because I'm pretty sure that you can do way more than you're capable of doing. So let me know what you end up doing. Let me know what challenges you have for yourselves. I'm cheering you on. I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you in the next one, friends. Bye now. Whew, what a life. Eight minutes, done and dusted. All right, it's cold shower time.
Lobster legs.